Have you ever wondered how Venice, one of the world's most recognizable cities, came to be one of the most important cities in medieval Europe? Well, it's perhaps the best geographical example of one man's trash being another's treasure. Venice is located at the very tip of the Adriatic Sea in what is today Italy. Unsurprisingly, it was part of the Roman Empire, but the Romans never really cared about it. This region of the Adriatic was filled with small, marshy, swampy islands. But when the Roman Empire fell, or at least the Western Roman Empire did, to Gothic and Hunnic invasions in the 5th century, refugees fleeing from the forces of Attila the Hun were able to find safety in these islands. While the Western Roman Empire fell, the Eastern Roman Empire, or Byzantine Empire, capitaled in Constantinople, today Istanbul, survived. And the quickly growing settlement of Venice became one of the westernmost outposts of the Byzantine Empire. In the year 697, Venice became a republic, meaning they didn't have a monarchy, instead electing a leader for life known as the Doge. The Doge of Venice was elected by a group of the most prominent merchantmen of Venice. Venetian society, and in fact the city itself, was completely built around trade. The city is probably most well known for its canals, and while some, like the Grand Canal, follow the course of rivers that predate human settlement, most of them were man-made over the course of centuries. The geography that a millennia before made nobody care about it now became its greatest asset. When Charlemagne called for an invasion of Venice to make it part of the Carolingian Empire, it failed because they were so defensible. Barely anything stood in the way of the Carolingian conquest, and in fact, nothing would be able to conquer Venice for over 1,000 years, with the Republic surviving independently until 1797 when it was conquered by Napoleon Bonaparte, of course. Who else? At its height, though, Venice was spread across more than 100 islands in the northern Adriatic alone, with many settlements across the Mediterranean. As a group of islands, Venice benefited from one of the most powerful synergies in economic history. The only thing it needed to protect itself from invasion was the strongest navy in the Mediterranean, which for most of its history it absolutely had. Nothing could rival it, so why would they be afraid? And when you're not using those ships for defending your home islands, you can use them to transport cargo or to defend cargo fleets wherever you need them to be. Venice sent merchant fleets and protected those fleets all across the Mediterranean, from the Levant to North Africa to Italy and beyond. Venice became astronomically wealthy, building some of the most beautiful cathedrals and architecture in all of Europe during the Middle Ages. Unfortunately, this massive trade empire that they'd built had an unintended consequence. Venetian trading galleys carried countless rats infected with the bubonic plague all around Italy, including to Venice. Once they found out ships brought the disease, they came up with a great solution. Arriving ships were forced to quarantine for 40 days, with quarantine literally meaning 40 days in Venetian, what is easily one of Venice's most important modern legacies. Next time on Weird Borders, why maps would lie to you, so follow if you'd like to see that, as well as a video about the most famous Venetian, Marco Polo.